Yes, everybody, welcome back. Right, everyone's over the excitement of Thursday night. It is now time to focus on what's generally the biggest game in the league season. Manchester United versus Liverpool. It's usually the most watched, it's usually the most intense, and it usually actually means something. This season feels flat. United are going to go from second to second with a win or a loss, and Liverpool, who fucking cares? So it feels flat. But I think there's still a lot to play for in this. It's a must-win game from them. To be honest, they can actually make something happen here. They're currently lying sixth, and they're 4 points behind the Champions League places. They're going to come flying for this one. They are going to come absolutely hammering down for us. So we really need to make sure that we're on it for this, and we actually want to pile on the misery that everyone else is going to manage to do against them so far this season. Their away form in the league is considered pretty good. They've had 7 wins, 4 draws, and 3 losses, and they've had 3 wins, 2 draws in their last 5 league games. They're unbeaten in 5 games after their defeat to Anfield to Fulham. So they're starting to pick up a little bit of form. Obviously, we beat them 3-2 in the FA Cup last time that we played them. Jurgen Klopp has pretty much always opted to go with the 4-3-3 since it's been at Liverpool. And I think he will likely do the same thing again on the weekend. But I think it's worth noticing he has opted recently for a 4-4-2. And at the weekend against Newcastle, he did go with a 4-4-2. Now, they drew 1-1. And I think some of that was an attempt to get some attacking impetus if they've not really been relentless or as prolific as normal going forward. And I'm wondering if that's something that we may end up seeing more often from Liverpool, and potentially something that we might see this weekend. So I think it'll be 4-3-3, but because they're going to chase the game and it didn't actually work out for them against Newcastle, I think he probably won't, but let's put it in here because he might bring it on at the weekend anyway. He might be working on it in training, wasn't perfected. Maybe they've worked on it further this week in training. Injuries, they've still got Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, Henderson, and Origi out. So predicted starting 11, I reckon they're probably going to be Henderson in net, Trent Alexander-Arnold with Fabinho and Kabak and Robertson making out the back four, Milner, Thiago, Wijnaldum with Mane, Firmino, and Salah up front. Starman, it's Mo Salah. Now, I actually rate Mane higher than Salah, but this season, that's absolutely ludicrous. This season, Salah's been sensational for them. 29 goals in 46 games. He's got 20 goals in the league, which puts him second behind Harry Kane, who's got 21. He's only got 4 assists, which fits the narrative of him being pretty greedy and tunnel vision when he's in the final third. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Well, it entirely depends on what you're looking for from your wide forwards. If you're looking for them to just be a goal machine, no, who cares? But if you're looking for them to be creators for everybody else, and maybe Liverpool could be better if there was more creative impetus put on someone like Salah. But if Klopp's happy, then Klopp's happy, I guess. He's absolutely deadly on his left foot. He completely outperforms on his strong side by 3 goals. Show him on his weak side, and you might have some joy, but he's always looking to cut in on that right-hand side. So what Luke Shaw and probably Harry Maguire need to do is go very tight, not allow him a gap to cut in between them, try and force him to go into the channel and come around the back rather than cutting across the front and trying to get a shot off, because that's where he likes to shoot from. An underrated element of Salah's game, though, is his movement and his engine. He makes runs constantly. He comes running in behind all the time. It's the same intensity from minute 1 to minute 90. He's absolutely unbelievable with it, and I think that's why he gets so many chances and he's so successful with it. He's absolutely relentless with that. Luke Shaw has completely got to be on his A game to stay tight to him in this one. He's got to remain switched on. Even the momentary lapse that we saw against Roma where he played everyone onside, that's going to hurt you against someone like Salah. So he's got to be completely on it. Salah is quick, he is elusive, he's deceptively strong, and he's a constant danger even when games are quiet and maybe the ball isn't coming to him too much. He's probably the only Liverpool player that hasn't regressed at all from last season. So definitely someone to be keeping an eye on, and definitely the main threat that we have to keep quiet. Opposition tendencies then, let's have a look what they're all about. We should know what Liverpool are about, but how has that changed this year with their let's be honest, shite form. Liverpool are hybrid in their ability to both play on the counter as well as being possession-based. They are second highest in the league for average possession in the league with 62.6 possession, but they favour a possession-based game that allows them to get their fullbacks very high up the pitch, totally as auxiliary wingers and someone to play off in those sort of channels in the final third. That allows Mane and Salah to come narrow and probably try and overload the centre-halves a little bit within the width of the 18-yard box, and that is where they become dangerous. They become a goal-scoring duo, and Firmino is someone that would kind of drop off, look to move around the centre-halves and confuse who's marking who in this situation. It's a huge aspect of how they play, how they function, how they attack. Liverpool have been nowhere near as ruthless or prolific, obviously, as they have been in the last season. They've only scored 55 goals, which is fifth in the league this season. It's less goals than Leicester and Tottenham have both scored as well. They haven't been watertight at the back this season. Obviously, missing Van Dijk is a big part of that, but Van Dijk was also part of the 7-2, so it's not the only reason that they've been crap at the back. They are ranked 8th in their defence, conceding the same amount of goals as Brighton and conceding more than Aston Villa have this season. So they are vulnerable, and they are certainly a team that United should not be scared of trying to attack. Liverpool have attempted more long balls in the Premier League this season with 4,040, which is 400 more than Burnley have attempted in second place. People will tell you that Liverpool aren't a long ball team. They're full of shit. They absolutely are. But the most staggering stat of this is even though they've attempted the most long ball passes, they also have the third highest pass completion with long balls, which is 66.9%. So they're actually very good at them, quite pinpoint with them. And to give Trent some credit, because I don't rate him, but to give him some credit, this is one of the things that Trent has got. Trent has got an extremely underrated diagonal, an extremely underrated direct long ball like that. The problem with him is he's got in his own head about this, just spamming crosses in, and it's wasteful, and actually it allows Liverpool to be countered and to be attacked. And the amount of times he loses the ball versus how often a chance is created from it, I don't think it's worth the risk to play him the way he plays. But his diagonal ball, and his delivery from set pieces, from corners and free kicks, is unrivaled. But it's just that one aspect of his game and his defending is something that United have to target and have to get in the mixer with. Liverpool also have the highest success rate in the league of regaining the ball with defensive pressures within 5 seconds of losing the ball, 32%. They play with tenacity, aggression, and off the front foot. This hasn't really changed, and it's still one of the most successful things about this team. So they're going to press, and again, it worries me when a team presses that United are trying to play out from the back because we're just not good at it. We're really not good at it, and we have to improve on that. They're also error-prone at the back, though, and they lead the lead in defensive errors with 18, which is joint with Sheffield United. So this is where you can hurt them. To no one's surprise, they also lead the league in cross attempts with 499. Their attacking mantra is width, overloads, and fucking spam it into the box. Right, my United team to beat them this weekend is as follows. Henderson in net, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Lindelof, and Maguire. I would bring Bay in, but I don't know if he's match sharp, and I don't want to bring him in just for this game. Otherwise, there's a lot of reasons to play Bay in this. I think it'll be McTominay and Fred. Don't be surprised, anybody. It's just going to be that. And I think it'll be Bruno. I think it'll be Pogba. I think it'll be Rashford. And I think it'll be Cavani up front. Again, the only change I see here is Greenwood in for Pogba and move Marcus back over to the other side. There's something to be said maybe for playing Dan James. I think how bad he was against Leeds. I don't think you can justify that. Could he bring Donny van der Beek in? Could he bring Matic in? Matic for height instead of McTominay perhaps would be pretty slow moving through the midfield. But if you've got Pogba in there, I think you could probably get away with doing that still because you simplify the passes and find Pogba in good spaces, certainly on that left-hand side, right in behind Trent. But it also nullifies United a little bit if you do that. You want Marcus Rashford running against Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's it. You want him running against Trent Alexander-Arnold because he will get the better of him every single time. If you put Pogba there, it changes it and it becomes an entirely different game. And he's not going to use his pace to run at and get in behind Trent. You can still be effective from there, But I think what really hurts Trent and what really hurts Liverpool is when Marcus Rashford runs at him, because he hasn't got a clue how to deal with him. He hasn't got the ability to deal with him. He hasn't got the pace to deal with him. So there's some considerations for the United team to be made here. It's also, does he go with Cavani, knowing he could probably rest him on Thursday night against Roma away? Or does he go with Cavani or not go with Cavani because he's already played once this week? But I think the form that Cavani and Bruno and all them lot are in, and the confidence that they would have got from Thursday night showing, play them again is what I would do. So how do United beat them? Well, you're getting behind them. It's as simple as that. And that's why Marcus on the right doesn't really suit me for this. The centre of their defence is the weakness all season, and Kabak's still adjusting to the Premier League, and Fabinho's still makeshift. Even though he's an excellent player and possibly even a world-class player, he isn't a world-class centre-half, and you can unsettle these guys. I think with the high line that they play, Marcus Rashford runs in behind, has to be the primary go-to. And this is also why I could see Mason coming in for Cavani as well, to be honest with you, because I think Mason's ability to hit on the counter and break, or maybe you could bring Greenwood on the right, you could go with Pogba on the left, and you could go with Marcus down the middle and have him sort of interchange with Pogba and rotate a little bit like that and pull off into that left-hand channel to sort of really get in and target Trent. Rashford has to be the focus of this game. His pace is absolutely killer for him. Robertson and Trent are major parts of the way Liverpool build up and play. And also the amount of crosses that those guys throw in. It's 151 for Trent and 132 for Robertson. Salah and Mane cheat a little bit defensively, and they stay up the pitch as potential outlets for fast counters if they do get it, or direct balls, so that if they do get it, they're in sort of position for it. And it's also how they maintain their energy. Can we double up against them? Create 2v1? So I would like to see United really Rashford and Trent 1v1. If we can do that, exciting. There's only one. Because even if they go with their Trent's extremely shaky, try and play football in your half. I don't think he has any idea of someone like Donny or Paul Pogba being on the ball instead of McTominay or Fred. Just got to beat him one of them. Time and time again. With Fred. They're outside midfielders. I think if you can have someone that's got a real killer ball instead of their wingers and covering, it takes away the sole focus of creativity away from Bruno because of the space that opens, and it gives you more options, more outlets. It means that when you do counter in the centre, and I don't think Thiago, you can counter effectively, you can put it in the right area rather than requiring extra touches, extra passes to make sure, because Fernandes loves to loiter just in front of Van de Beek. That back four, get the ball into the final. This could really play into United's hands if we can. That's what I would like to see. If we can be bold, Manchester United, if we can be brave, getting around Thiago. He likes time on the ball, and he likes time. This Manchester United team, he's world class. He's a world class footballer. Let's do it. I think he dysfunctions the way the Liverpool team build up and the way they play, but he is a world class footballer. Don't allow him to dictate the game. Get in around him, unsettle him, make him force errors, and give him a long afternoon. Don't let him do what he wants, because if you do, he's going to hurt you. So that's how I think Manchester United can do this. We've got to be bold, got to be brave, and just go for them. Absolutely take the game to them. Cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.